Good afternoon, this is Sean Golding with Golding & Golding, here to discuss the basics of the dual status taxpayer. This is a common question we get, especially around tax season, so let's go through the basics. Dual status from a tax perspective, income tax perspective more specifically, means that the person is considered a U.S. person and a non-U.S. person in the same year. Oftentimes this will happen in the first year. Maybe someone moves to the United States in March or April. They're on an H-1B or a B-1 or O-1. And they meet the substantial presence test, but for the first 3 to 4 months, they'd be considered a non-U.S. person. Also in the last year, before obtaining a sailing permit or someone relinquishes their green card I-407, that final year will be split. Taxes are different. U.S. follows a worldwide income tax model. What does that mean? It means that the U.S. taxes you on all of your income, very convenient for the U.S. government. If you're a U.S. person, maybe you live in a foreign country, all your money is sourced from a foreign country, that's all taxable in the United States. It doesn't matter if you're a U.S. citizen, lawful permanent resident, foreign national who meets the substantial presence test. When you are a U.S. person, you're taxed on your worldwide income. When you're a non-U.S. person, you're only taxed on your U.S. sourced income. So you're taxed on FDAP, fixed determinable annual periodic, pretty much passive types of income, or ECI, effectively connected income. Those are the two main categories. So non-U.S. person only taxed on U.S. sourced income. They can't hit you with the worldwide income model because you're not a U.S. person. When you are dual status, it typically means, and there's different ways technically to go about it, but from a baseline perspective, you'll file 2 tax returns, in the same year, or you file them together. The 1040 for the portion of the year you're considered a U.S. person, 1040 NR non-resident for the portion of the year that you're considered a non-resident. A few key facts to remember when going through this process. Form 8938 refers to FATCA. FATCA is the Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act. FATCA is associated with filing your tax return. So if you are required to file a U.S. tax return, you may be required to file FATCA. If you are a dual status taxpayer, typically you have to include FATCA for the portion of the year that you are considered a U.S. person if you meet the threshold. For example, if you are a non-resident the entire year, then you typically don't file Form 8938. There's various other international information reporting forms you have to be aware of as well. Form 3520, Form 5471, Form 3520A, 8865. Those can all be required as well if you're a U.S. person. Now, FBAR is a little bit different. FBAR is not a tax form, it's a FinCEN form. So you may be required to file the FBAR if you're a U.S. person for a portion of the year. Very important to keep in mind. If you're a non-U.S. person, but you're only filing U.S. tax return because maybe you made a 6013G election, your spouse is a U.S. person, you want to file together, that in and of itself doesn't necessitate you filing the FBAR usually, but you may have to file the other forms as well. It can get very complicated if you haven't done this in prior years. There are various disclosure programs referred to as Offshore Amnesty you can use to get into compliance. If you're willful or you just can't certify under penalty of perjury that you're non-willful, you would do the voluntary disclosure program. If you're non-willful, you got a lot more options available to you. You got the streamlined filing compliance procedures, delinquency procedures, and reasonable cause. We have tons of free information available on our main website and our sub-websites. You can always reach out and schedule a reduced fee initial consultation if you think it's appropriate, and it's something that we handle here. Again, my name is Sean Golding with Golding & Golding. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.